Pokémon Horizons just left fans incredibly unsettled by turning Pecharunt's mochi dance into something that felt more like a murder mystery apocalyptic psychological horror movie. This was the wackiest, craziest episode ever to kick off 2026 with, so if you enjoy then be sure to like and subscribe, and now let's dive into my review of Pokémon Horizons, episode 123. The episode began with Diana driving to meet the Ryzen Voltaclers. A mysterious mochi-shaped Pokemon sneaks out of her car, and from this point on the episode treats this being less like a Pokemon and more like a straight-up demon lurking in the shadows, hunting down our heroes, in something that, like I said, feels more like a horror movie. On the airship, our heroes are waiting for Diana to arrive, and Murdoch's Lycanroc is munching down that food like there's no tomorrow, and at this point I was like, good. Just keep going, Lycanroc. Don't stop eating. Get chunky again. I'm just kidding, but I miss chubby Lycanroc, man. But yeah, the horror vibes very quickly come back, because that mochi demon is in the doorway looming behind Lycanroc with its big evil eyes ready to strike. And then later on too, the terrifying shape of its shadow terrorizes the innocent airship Pokemon in the middle of the night, and it continues stalking our heroes, locking its eyes on Captain Pikachu, Kilowattrel and Lucario. It then planted some tasty looking mochi in the airship, and the adults assume it's a gift from Diana and begin munching down. But then Orla suddenly screams out, her body spasming, and then we cut forward to the younger ones arriving in the room, and all the adults are gone. It's like they disappeared out of thin air. The only thing that remains are some smashed plates and some fallen over furniture. Clearly something dark and wicked happened here, and this is the aftermath of it. All I'm saying is, something was definitely in that mochi, bruh. That's why you don't eat mysterious food of unknown origin. Sometimes your parents are right. But yeah, everything about this felt so murder mystery to me, I loved it. It had such creepy undertones. So our heroes begin searching for the missing adults, but then my boy Kilowattrel gets got by the mysterious Pokemon stalking him. And dude, Liko and Dot then go into a dark room, and they find Orla ominously staring at the corner lifelessly. Bro, this is given major Blair Witch Project vibes. Anyone who's seen that movie will know what I mean. But then as our heroes worriedly approached Orla, chaos absolutely erupted. Orla's head suddenly jerked around to face them, and her eyes are so lifeless. She's been possessed and she clearly has no control of her body whatsoever, because against her will she begins doing the mochi dance from the games, in the most creepy way ever. And dude, seeing beloved characters like this having no control, just feeling like lifeless puppets to a greater power, that's so unsettling even in a goofy context like this. So yeah, our heroes are obviously horrified. Liko and Dot flee for their lives as Roy and Alt get attacked by a possessed Molly. And when I say attacked, really I just mean they're aggressively mochi dancing towards them. And that's when the mysterious mochi being gets Lucario. Dude, this genuinely feels like a horror movie, like I said. Our heroes are being hunted down one by some greater, unseen paranormal being. Something that appears demonic that wants to possess them and take control of them for whatever purpose it has. That's so scary, man. Imagine it happening to you in real life. Liko and Dot are then terrorized by a possessed Murdoch, while Alt gets infected by the possession mochi himself. So yeah, Alt is going crazy too, and then Cap gets infected also. And Liko, Roy and Dot are hiding like they're in a zombie apocalypse. But they too soon get found by the mochi zombies, resulting in Dot sacrificing herself, holding Murdoch back and getting infected so that Liko and Roy can get away. Dot is a real one, man. Now I know who I'd want to be with in a zombie apocalypse. And at this point, the mochi being terrorizing them all reveals itself as a Pecharunt, like I'm sure we all suspected a long time ago. I'm so glad it's getting an episode in Pokémon Horizons. I was kinda worried they'd skip over it like they did with Koraidon, Miraidon, Ogerpon, etc. And yeah, Pecharunt then reveals its new loyal three, Pikachu, Lucario and Kilowattrel, and they're all attached with toxic chains as well. And dude, at this point I think I kind of clocked on to what the writers are doing here. I think for the 100th time they're trying to establish that Horizons takes place after the story of the Scarlet and Violet games, because in the DLC of the Scarlet and Violet games, the protagonist freed Okidoki, Fezandipiti and Munkidori from Pecharunt, so it makes perfect sense that after that Pecharunt would want to find a new loyal three, and choosing Lucario, Kilowattrel and Captain Pikachu to replace him is the funniest thing ever. Anyway, Pecharunt and its new Loyal 3 and all of its possessed servants, they begin hunting Liko and Roy down around the airship. But then in a moment where Liko and Roy think they've found a hiding place, Roy turns around and reveals that he's infected too. It's given the same energy as in a zombie movie where someone reveals they've been bitten. So yeah, Liko is now the only survivor and she runs away terrified, but then she too gets surrounded. She's held in place against her will by the Loyal 3, and Pecharunt forces her to eat the possession mochi. That's so dark, man. Imagine how scared she must have been. So yeah, it's over for the Ryzen Vault Tacklers. All of them have been possessed. They're all deep in the Mochi Mayhem trance, dancing and singing under Pecharunt's control. But then the horror vibe very quickly became lighthearted and hilarious, because Pogogo became a disco ball. He turned the scene of horror into a dance party. All the possessed ones are dancing. And what made me laugh the most is that my boy Quaxwell isn't even possessed. He's just dancing with everyone for the love of the game. I'm so glad this episode gave him the aura and personality back that he used to have as a Quaxley. And that encourages all the other airship Pokemon to come out of hiding and join the dance too. They're all having a great time. Until Diana arrives and shouts at Pecharunt, ending the Mochi madness. Diana explains to everybody that Pecharunt is her Pokemon, and bruh, Liko's grandma just casually having a mythical Pokemon? That's wild, man. Diana explains that Pecharunt always feeds people mochi to possess them and make them dance, and then she reveals how she met it. A while back she was in Kitakami with Hamba and they were enjoying their time together, and I'm definitely headcanoning that they're dating. I mean, come on bruh, elderly people deserve love too. Anyway, while they were there, the whole of Kitakami became possessed. The whole of Kitakami apart from Hamba and Diana for some weird reason, and then it's revealed that the mastermind behind it was Pecharunt and its Loyal 3. Lycanroc, Apom, and bruh, there's no way they brought back Idiot Bird! No actual way! Dude, are we serious? A Bombardier in the mountains of Kitakami? That's gotta be Idiot Bird, bro! That stupid, ratty, annoying, irritating Idiot Bird who I waged war against in my episode 70 review a year ago. The one who terrorized a little poor, cute, innocent Tinkertink. Let me flash back real quick. This is important Pokeferlax lore, okay? But then an annoying, rude, irritating, obnoxious, dumb-looking pesky Bombardier shows up, and this idiot bird steals the metal from Tinkertink. Like, man, I'm coming for Bombardier's neck in this video. This stupid, ratty bird is a laughing and taunting Tinkertink while Tinkertink cries. Bombardier, if I get my hands on you, dude, I'm gonna say it right here, right now. I never, ever, ever want to see those obnoxious, pesky, annoying birds ever again. I was genuinely clenching my fists watching them taunting and bullying Tinkertink. They made me so angry, dude, I can't even put it into words. I never want to see your face again, Bombardier. So yeah, now we're back to the present. I cannot believe Idiot Bird is back, dude. You cannot stop me right now. I'm about to beat this bird up. But wait a second, I can't believe I'm saying this. Is this Idiot Bird Redemption Arc? Because rather than being an evil menace like Idiot Bird used to be a year ago, instead Pecharunt's new Loyal 3, including Idiot Bird, they just give Diana and Hamba a bunch of berries they gathered. Like, yeah, they possessed the entire town, but they did it to give gifts to Hamba and Diana. Diana is understandably confused and brings out a storybook about Pecharunt's history, and she reads about how Pecharunt was originally raised by an old man and an old woman, and how it caused chaos with the Loyal 3, Monkey Dory, Okidoki, and Fezandipity. So now it seems that Pecharunt possessed everyone to gather berries for Hamba and Diana, because Pecharunt sees Diana and Hamba as possible loving elderly parental figures, just like its original trainers were. Dude, that's the sweetest thing of all time. After the events of the game, with Pecharunt being defeated and its Loyal 3 being freed, now it seems Pecharunt just wants things back to how they were. It found a new Loyal 3, it wants Diana and Hamba to be its new parental figures. What a sweet way to continue Pecharunt's story from the games. Diana is obviously a sane person, so she scolds Pecharunt for possessing an entire town, but Pecharunt is really insistent. Even after Diana and Hamba defeat the Loyal 3 and Pecharunt in a quick battle montage, Pecharunt still wants to be with Diana and Hamba, so in the end Diana decides that maybe she should become friends with it. Low-key, I feel like she was just trying to stop it from possessing another town. But anyway, Diana catches Pecharunt in a Pokeball, so yeah, Pecharunt is the mysterious Pokemon it was teased that Diana caught back in episode 107, and that's a really nice continuity and foreshadowing, dude. So now back to the present. Everybody's happy and meets Pecharunt properly, and then Diana reveals a set of armor to Liko that she thinks could help Charcadet. And that's alright folks, it's the Auspicious Armor, the item that causes Charcadet to evolve into Armarouge in the games. It's really happening and so soon too. And yeah, then the episode ended with the jokey reveal that they never freed poor old man Ludlow. He's still doing the mochi dance for the rest of time. Okay, so while I was watching this episode, for a while I was a little confused. I kept thinking that this would have been way better and more fitting as an episode back during the Kitakami arc, rather than randomly happening now so long after. But then the reveal towards the end about this actually all being a sequel to the Pecharunt DLC from the games, showing what Pecharunt felt and did after the Loyal 3 were freed from it by the game protagonist. That was so fantastic and well thought out that I genuinely fell in love with it. Once again, Horizons has managed to do a continuation of the story from the games, showing us the aftermath of our playthrough. And whoever came up with this idea in the writing team is so genius. Above all, though, I absolutely loved the horror vibes going on in this episode. It felt like the writers were inspired by so many different subgenres. Psychological horror, supernatural horror, apocalyptic horror. Of course it's easy to look at the episode from the real world context, of it being a light-hearted Pokemon kids show, and so for that reason brushing it off as clearly being light-hearted and goofy. But if you look at it from the perspective of the characters in-universe, facing this unknown, terrifying supernatural being that's hunting them down in their home and possessing them one by one, that's when the genuinely horrifying nature of it becomes clear. And I love looking at it from that perspective. I saw a lot of people in the community doing the same and it's so much fun. I'm guessing this is also the writer's way of getting a poison-type Pokemon as strong as the 6 heroes to represent the poison Terra-type to power up Terapagos to erase the Larkweem at the end of Horizons, since there's no other poison-type Pokemon our heroes have, really. So yeah, kinda skipping over that and having Pecharunt, a mythical Pokemon, being allied with Diana, that makes a lot of sense to me, and I definitely think they're going to be there for the final showdown as part of the 18 Terra-types. I am slightly conflicted though on Liko just being gifted the auspicious armor on a silver platter by Diana like it's nothing. I kinda think Charcadet needs another couple episodes at least before evolving, so an episode where Liko and Charcadet worked together to find the auspicious armor themselves, that would have been way better to me. It would have made Liko feel more active as a protagonist, seeking out Charcadet's evolution herself rather than it just being gifted to her, and it would have given Charcadet more development before evolution too. But that's the only criticism I have of this episode, really. Everything else I loved. Let me know your thoughts on today's episode in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. We're so close to 150k and I'd really appreciate your help. Thank you to all of my incredible channel members on screen right now. That includes Shiny Charm, Toten, Jay, Shareborn, Hope, Not Minnie, and more. You guys are wonderful and I sincerely appreciate you. So yeah, on that note, thank you all so much for watching and best wishes until we meet again.